Welcome to the City of San Diego Scoping Meeting presentation on the Environmental Impact Report for the 6110 Camino de la Costa project. During the Scoping Meeting presentation, you will hear an overview of the environmental review process, including the purpose of the scoping meeting and the public hearing process, the project description, information regarding the environmental impact report, and ultimately how to provide input. The city's environmental review staff is required by the California Environmental Quality Act, as well as the city's municipal code, to provide the public and the decision makers with independently prepared environmental documents that discloses potentially significant adverse environmental effects, identify possible ways to mitigate or avoid the significant effects, and describe a range of reasonable alternatives to the project that could feasibly attain most of the basic objectives while substantially lessening a significant environmental impact. As part of this process, input from the public and organizations, as well as tribes and agencies involved with the project, is solicited at several stages. The environmental document does not recommend project approval or denial. Instead, it is an informational document meant to disclose the environmental effects of a proposed project. As shown on this slide, the periods when the public can provide input on environmental concerns are denoted by asterisks. This includes the public scoping meeting stage that started on July 17, 2023 and extends 30 days to August 16, 2023. Through this period, for notice of preparation and scoping and during the draft EIR public review period, the public may submit comments to the city. Contact information and how to submit comments will be provided at the end of the presentation. The public may again provide input during meetings held by the officially recognized planning group, the Historic Resources Board, and during various public hearings such as Planning Commission. Consistent with Section 21083.9 of the CEQA statutes, a public scoping period is being conducted to solicit comments regarding the scope and analysis of the environmental impact report. The notice of preparation distributed includes information about the project and project location and identifies the general topics to be addressed in the environmental document. The notice of preparation's purpose is to provide notice of the upcoming environmental impact report preparation and solicit input from the public regarding potential environmental concerns. The information received is then utilized during the preparation of the environmental impact report. This notice also provides information regarding the scoping meeting. City environmental staff's review of the 6110 Camino de la Costa project identified the environmental issues that could be potentially significant for the project, as well as those environmental issues that have been identified as effects found not to be significant based on information available at this time. The environmental impact report will be prepared in accordance with the city's standard format, the city's significant determination thresholds as updated in September 2022, and the 2023 California Environmental Quality Act statutes and guidelines. The environmental impact report will provide a detailed project description and setting, disclose the project's significant effects on the environment, identify mitigation measures to avoid or reduce environmental impacts, and analyze feasible project alternatives that reduce environmental effects. Once the environmental impact report is prepared, it will be circulated for a 45-day public review period. Comments received on the draft environmental document during this time will be considered and addressed. After public review is completed, a final environmental impact report will be prepared that includes responses to the written comments received during the public review period. The final environmental document with responses to comments will then be considered with approval of the project by city decision makers. Now a brief overview of the 6110 Camino de la Costa project itself. The project site is located in the La Jolla community within the city of San Diego. The 0.37-acre project site is located at 6110 Camino de la Costa, east of the intersection of Camino de la Costa and Avenida Cortez on the coastal bluff in the Lower Hermosa neighborhood of La Jolla. The site is primarily characterized by an existing 3,036 square foot, two-story residence and detached garage constructed in 1924, and is a locally designated historic resource on the City of San Diego Historic Resources Register, HRB number 1481. The site is zoned residential single-family RS15, which allows for one dwelling unit for each 8,000 square feet of lot area. The site is designated low-density residential in the La Jolla Community Plan, which allows for 5 to 9 dwelling units per acre. No zoning or land use amendments are proposed. The project proposes to demolish the existing historically designated 3,036 square foot two-story residence and construct a new two-story 10,013 square foot residence with a basement located at 6110 Camino de la Costa. The project would also include a pool under the proposed residence and associated site improvements such as hardscape and landscaping. The project would preserve the existing wall along the frontage of the site and detach the garage in place. The site would be accessible from a new driveway off Camino de la Costa, and the project would connect to existing utilities within Camino de la Costa. The proposed project would also include removal of the existing walls and stairs west of the bluff edge and would preserve all portions of the lot west of the bluff edge as environmentally sensitive lands within the covenant of easement. The covenant of easement would include land use restrictions with the intent to preclude future development and to preserve the area. The project will require the following discretionary approvals: coastal development permit and site development permit. This slide provides information on how the public can submit comments on the notice of preparation. Please note the focus of the comments must be on the environmental effects that should be analyzed in the environmental document and not on the merits of the project. The city requests that all comments be provided electronically. Comments may either be submitted via the electronic form on the city's California Environmental Quality Act website or emailed to dsdeas@sandiego.gov. However, if a hard copy submittal is necessary, they may be mailed to the address indicated on the slide. When submitting comments, please reference the project name and number 6110 Camino de la Costa, project number PRJ-1066101. The input provided will be considered by city staff for use in the scope of the environmental impact report and included as part of the official administrative record for the environmental document. Please be aware that this is just the start of the environmental review process. There will be other opportunities to provide comment on the environmental document and the project, such as during community group meetings, public review of the draft environmental document, as well as any associated public hearings. As required by the Americans with Disabilities Act, requests for scoping meeting information to be made in alternative formats, including requests for alternatives to observing this meeting presentation and offering public comment, may be made by email to dsdeasnoticing@sandiego.gov. This concludes the public scoping meeting and presentation for the 6110 Camino de la Costa Environmental Impact Report. Thank you.